Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jessica Van, and this is your Pleasure Point. So, I hope everybody's week has been going well. Mine has definitely been going well. I have to say that the journey through entrepreneurship has been really interesting and very, very fulfilling. It hasn't even been a full month yet of full time entrepreneurship, but it feels like it's been at least 6 months. And so I often wonder if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And I will say, definitely in this case, it's a good thing. It feels like I've been doing it forever, but I'm definitely learning all of the triumphs and pitfalls that come along with entrepreneurship, but having a great time doing it. So, a lot of my week has been promoting Love and Lust, the adult coloring book that I hope, if you've not already gotten your hands on, you are definitely planning to do that. And having conversations based on the book. Like, what is this book about? Why would I want an adult coloring book? One of the continual conversations I've been having this week has been about the largest sex organ. So, what do you think the largest sex organ is that we have? No guesses? It's cool because I can't hear you guys anyway. It's not live. But it is the brain, okay? The largest sex organ we have is right up here. And this is where intimacy, arousal, and romance starts. Yeah, I'd say for about 95% of people, intimacy, arousal starts in the brain. For a lot of men, they happen to be very visual people. So when they see a good looking woman or a good looking man, that's when the wheels start turning. Ladies, they turn for us as well. But I had a conversation with someone and they were just like, I am sick of people telling us that intimacy starts in the brain. That's not where it starts. It starts with communication. Well, where does communication start? Where do the thoughts and ideas come from? So, one of the things about our brains is that it is going to keep in its head, well, it's going to keep in its database, shall we say, pleasurable experiences. The main, the main focus of the brain is to keep us alive and to keep us safe. Keep us from experiencing unpleasurable things. So, if you've ever experienced a trauma, and more specifically a sexual trauma, your brain has now associated sex with an unpleasurable event, but that can be undone. Not saying that we need to forget your trauma. We need to work through your trauma. We need to find ways that your brain can cope with that. But sex being viewed as unpleasurable can definitely be changed. If you've been in a long-term relationship and you're having sex with your partner the same way every time, you initiate the same way every time, the foreplay is the same, it becomes routine. And when things become routine to us, our brain goes into autopilot. It's kind of the reason why you can get to work and not really remember, oh, I passed the gas station on the way in here, or you can get home from work and not remember how you got home from work because your brain has done the same thing day in and day out, and it's a routine. That can take away from sex being a pleasurable experience. So, Love and Lust is a creative way to spark new and fresh ideas in the bedroom and new ways to engage in intimacy in different forms. Intimacy is not just sex. It is conversation. It is spending time with your partner. It is doing new things. But you have to train your brain to think outside of its box. So, here are a few tips to re engage your brain, get out of the mundane, out of your routine, and get into some new, fun, and exciting sexual experiences. Number one, create novelty outside of the bedroom. So, what does this mean? Basically, there's an excitement theory that says that lingering adrenaline from a non sexual experience can overlap into the bedroom and enhance your sexual experience. So go on an adventure, go hiking, zip lining, indoor skydiving, whatever it is that's going to get your adrenaline pumping and get the water boiling before you get home to cook. Number 2, share a fantasy or two. So if you're a hardcore Freudian, this is probably going to mess with your brain because Freud said that only dissatisfied people have fantasies. Well, that's not actually true. Research shows that those who actively fantasize and share them with their partners are actually more sexually satisfied and more sexually responsive. It's important to note that there's a difference between having a fantasy and acting on it. So I'm not advocating for any type of adultery or, deviant behavior unless that's what you and your partner are into, but I am advocating for you to have an open communication with your partner about what it is that you're interested in sexually. And who knows, maybe eventually you'll both get to act on it. And finally, number 3, keep it fresh. Remember, it's very easy for our minds to fall into a routine. You already know your partner's bodies, you know what they like. Maybe it's time to shake it up and find some different routes to pleasure. Maybe you have a conversation and you include toys in your play or different roles. Ladies, if you consider yourself to be the straight-laced girl next door, maybe it's time for you to step out of that. Maybe you guys play strangers at the bar. Whatever it is, make it new and exciting. Remember, it takes 2. So for every one partner who is willing to go out there and make it happen, seek out new adventures, it requires another partner or the other partner to be willing to meet them halfway. So guys, these are the types of tools and tips that you will see in Love and Lust, not in the coloring book, but again, it does come with the online toolbox that basically expounds upon each of the themes in the book and gives you new and exciting ways to interact with each other and a therapeutic way to use the coloring book. I do want to point out to you guys that I have teamed up with sex therapist Jen, who I will be doing a live with at some point if I haven't already done it by the time you see this video. But guys, make sure that you check that out. Check out her page. She is full of wonderful information. Always keep looking at Envision Counseling for sexperts that I'm following so that you can get a different perspective, because there is no one way to have a pleasurable sexual experience. I have a certain expertise, and then there are other people with various views and various areas of expertise that you can all learn from. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in today, and have a wonderful day.